If one small island goes dark, the entire global economy stops breathing. If one factory shuts down, every AI chip on this planet disappears. And the terrifying truth is, that island sits right off the coast of China. Over the last 2 years, the world has gone insane for artificial intelligence. Tech stocks have skyrocketed, investors are euphoric, and everyone believes this is the next industrial revolution. But behind all the hype and optimism, there's one fragile thread holding it all together. And if it snaps, the entire AI dream collapses overnight. Because the most powerful chips that fuel AI come from one single place on Earth, Taiwan. It's called TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. You might not know the name, but this company manufactures over 90% of the world's advanced chips. From iPhones to supercomputers, from Teslas to fighter jets, they all rely on TSMC. If TSMC stops, Nvidia stops, Apple stops, ChatGPT stops. The global brain goes offline. And here's the biggest irony of the AI era. America's most powerful chips are built just a few hundred miles from its biggest rival, China. A tiny island of 23 million people holds the lifeline of the modern world. If a conflict breaks out across the Taiwan Strait, the world wouldn't just lose a factory. It would lose the foundation of its digital civilization, because without chips, nothing works. No AI, no electric cars, no satellites, no internet. A single microchip can decide whether a nation advances or collapses. And right now, almost all of them are born in Taiwan, a tiny island holding the world by the throat. In every major conflict of the past century, power belonged to whoever controlled energy. In the 21st century, that energy isn't oil. It's electricity flowing through silicon. And China understood that earlier than anyone else. While the West debated green energy and carbon footprints, China made a different choice. It was willing to get dirty to get ahead. It opened dozens of rare earth mines, poured billions into semiconductor research, and quietly prepared for the one thing that could give it absolute power, control over Taiwan. Because TSMC isn't just another company. It's the heart of the global technology system. If that heart stops beating, the entire AI industry flatlines. According to U.S. intelligence, Xi Jinping has instructed China's military to be ready for an invasion of Taiwan by 2027. China has been building new amphibious landing ships, training tens of thousands of Marines, and running large-scale military drills around the island every single year. These aren't just shows of strength, they're reminders. Reminders that the key to the world's technology lies within Beijing's reach. And this risk isn't hypothetical anymore. If conflict ever breaks out, TSMC simply cannot operate. Its production lines depend entirely on precision machinery, gases, and software from the US, Japan, and the Netherlands. Cut off those links, and the factories go silent. Even if the buildings survive, TSMC would be dead in the water. No software updates, no spare parts, no new wafers. And if that happens, every major American company, Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Google, OpenAI, would freeze in place. One investor once said, "We could survive without oil for a few months, but not without chips for a single week." He wasn't exaggerating. Every supercomputer, every data center, every AI model today is powered by TSMC. They produce over 80% of the world's most advanced chips. And there is no plan B. Some say, well, we'll just switch to Samsung. But it's not that simple. Samsung still trails TSMC by 1 or 2 generations in chip technology. Their yield rates, the number of working chips per batch, are far lower. That's why Nvidia tried using Samsung during the pandemic, but quickly ran back to TSMC after losing millions in defective GPUs. In short, TSMC cannot be replaced, and when something cannot be replaced, it becomes the most powerful weapon on Earth, one that can bring nations to their knees without a single shot fired. Because this isn't just a battle for technology. It's a battle for control of human intelligence itself. China doesn't need to start a war. It just needs the world to fear losing access. That fear alone gives it leverage more powerful than any army. Imagine this. One morning, the world wakes up to find Taiwan under blockade. No exports, no chip shipments, no new production orders from TSMC. Within days, AI factories across America fall silent. The data centers that power Google, Amazon, and OpenAI begin to dim. Within a week, all new AI training stops. Within a month, chip-dependent industries, electric vehicles, weapons, robotics, grind to a halt. One small island, and the entire planet is held hostage. That's why the United States is racing against time. Washington passed the CHIPS Act, a multi-billion-dollar effort to rebuild domestic chip production. TSMC was invited to build a new facility in Arizona, hoping to reduce the risk if anything happens in Asia. But reality is messy. Those new fabs in America are already years behind schedule. Local engineers lack the experience, materials must still be imported, and even when those plants finally open, they'll produce chips at the 4-nanometer level, while the world is already moving on to 3 and even 2 nanometers. In semiconductors, being one generation behind is like being left in another century. Meanwhile, China keeps investing heavily in self-reliance. It already dominates 90% of the world's rare earth refining, the metals used in every chip, battery, and advanced weapon. If Beijing ever gained control of TSMC as well, it would command the entire chain, from raw materials to manufacturing to the AI hardware that runs the modern world. And when asked what TSMC would do in the event of an invasion, its answer was chilling. If we're taken, we stop. No one can run these factories without us. Yes, in other words, if China attacks, the world doesn't just lose chips, it loses 30 years of technological progress. Through all of this, one timeless rule emerges. Power doesn't come from what you create. It comes from what others cannot live without. And today, the world cannot live without TSMC. This isn't just a story about America and China. It's a story about who controls the mind of the modern world. In the 20th century, whoever controlled oil ruled the planet. In the 21st, whoever controls chips will rule the future. We used to think AI would make humanity smarter, but maybe it's just reminding us of an uncomfortable truth, that even artificial intelligence is still bound by human flaws, ambition, greed, and geopolitics. A tiny island of 23 million people now holds the brain of civilization in its hands. And with one wrong move, the digital future of mankind could disappear in a matter of weeks. Because in the age of AI, everything can be replaced, except the place where intelligence itself is made. No island is small when it holds the future of the world.